All right, welcome everyone. If this is your first workshop of the day, welcome to the conference. If this is not your first, welcome back after hopefully a nice lunch break. My name is Shannon. I'm the program manager at CMAP, and I have had the pleasure of working with these panelists to put this awesome workshop together for you. So the workshop we're in is Growing International Crops Responsibly. And I just have a couple of things to share before we dive in. One is a thank you to our sponsors. We're really grateful for their support in making this happen, especially our lead sponsor, PCT Federal Credit Union. Very grateful. And then I wanted to introduce our moderator, which we're so excited to have Henrietta here joining us from World Farmers. We can't think of somebody who could be a better fit for leading this conversation. Henrietta is the executive director of World Farmers in Lancaster. She has decades of experience at her family's farm business and in the nonprofit healthcare field. Henrietta has a passion for food sovereignty in Massachusetts and for educating the next generation of farmers. This passion stems from her upbringing in rural Kenya, where she migrated from with her family in 2001. She is just an amazing leader in the agricultural space here in Massachusetts, and we're excited to have her here. So take it away, Henrietta. Oops, you're muted.
There we go. Thank you for that great introduction, Shannon. Let me apologize because my voice, for some reason, it just decided to go away today, but we're gonna make it through today. So like Shannon said, I'm Henrietta Isaboke and I'm the Executive Director for World Farmers Incorporated. We are located in Lancaster, Massachusetts, and we support immigrant and refugee farmers with access to land, farming infrastructure, market access, and everything in between. So this topic is really dear and very close to my heart because cultural crops really is something that we are now seeing people gravitating towards. But as we are trying to have a representation of the entire Massachusetts population, we really need to look at what demographic look like and what people are looking for produce specifically. So if we are able to grow what communities need, what's close to them, what they are used to, then we can get our food system as close to everybody as we can. And when I first started farming with my mother way back in, I think it was 2005, 2006, I was just a high schooler and I wasn't really into farming and like any other high school student. I just wanted to be out there having fun with my friends. But as the first year when my mother grew the vegetables that we were used to back in Kenya, I really enjoyed having fresh vegetables. As immigrants, we were used to coming abroad with dried vegetables. They were not machine dehydrated, they were really sun dried, so that we could have that taste of home with us. And the first few years it was really hard because eating the dehydrated vegetables is not as good as eating fresh grown vegetables. So getting land to grow these vegetables that we were used to was hard. When my mother migrated here, she came with some small seeds from the vegetables that we used commonly. So the next step was finding land that she could grow these vegetables in. In 2004, as she was exploring our little town, she came to Manny's farm, and that's where she was introduced to World Farmers. Back then, it was still just our amazing founder, Maria, who was just sharing her land with other immigrant farmers. So she was generous enough to give her the space to grow what she was used to. And as the years went, she grew more and more, where she was able to share with families. And we came to find other community members that were really in need of those vegetables. So her growing cultural vegetables specific from Kenya for the Kenyan communities was really important. And as the time went by, more and more people heard about her, and more immigrant farmers heard about the program, and they joined her as buyers, but also as growers. They joined the program. So introducing these vegetables to people that really need it is key to making sure that we are meeting everybody's need, so that everybody can be represented, because sometimes we assume that what's available is what people are needing, not knowing that sometimes what's mainstream vegetables like kale and collard really in other communities is just vegetables that are used for feeding animals, and we're used to other vegetables. So I'm very glad to be having this discussion with this great panelist. We're going to be joined with Michael Dare, owner of Tiani Gardens, Amina and Paulo Rodriguez, owner of Rodriguez Farms, and Jor Hart. He's not here yet, but he's going to be joining us as we continue. So first off, I just wanted to give our panelists some few minutes to tell us about themselves, and they can introduce themselves, what they do, and the journey to farming, really what has brought them to this moment in their businesses. Paulo and Amina, we'll start with you guys.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, good afternoon.
My name is Amina Rodriguez, and I and my husband Paulo, we own a Rodriguez farm in Berkeley, and we originally from Brazil. My husband grew up in the farm, and I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about himself, and then I'm gonna start talking about the slide that I made, and Shanna will start. It was helping us.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Paulo Rodriguez. We own Rodriguez Farm in Berkeley, Massachusetts, 11 Babbitt Way. And tell about my background a little bit from Brazil. I grew up on a farm. My grandfather was a farm and my father was a farm. So I'm on one of the six brothers who chose to continue to be a farm. And, so came to America, and my dream was to be a chef. I was a chef for 17 years. And finally, not too long ago, about 3 years ago, we found this farm at the 11 Babbitt Way in Berkeley, Massachusetts. We bought it, and then we start a dream about growing and put some vegetables and so livestock and everything. So here we are after 3 years at Rodriguez Farm. We work as a family.
Yeah.
I got my beautiful wife, Amina Dabi.
So I, Paul and I, we decided to work together. Paulo is more hands-on. He does, as he said, he grew up in a farm. He used to work with the coffee beans, and I, when we came to work together, I start working more on the business side of the project. And so right now, as you can see, we own the Rodriguez farm. If you could please go on the next slide, Shannon. Thank you. Here is a Rodriguez farm, more pictures for you to see. Could you please go next one too as well? Yes, this is our family. That's my husband and I, my daughter, and our 2 boys. And I have my mother, which is not in that picture. She lives with us, and we work all together. We are very busy during the summertime. We are a agritourism. We work during the summer receiving people in the farm, and we do grow some crops, which is an internet we about in Iran. You can, and this is our mission. I'm very glad that I'm working on our business plan for our farm, and we finish with our mission statement, which Rodriguez Farm help our community and families restore our local farming heritage, preserve rural character, feed our local community, and contribute a new tourist attraction. Our on-farm workshop and activity enable locals to enjoy sustainable farming in a unique family environment and contribute to the growth of agritourism. Please, can you go to the next one? And this is our vision. Our vision is to provide the highest quality products and service to our customer. Please, the next one. And here what we offer in Rodriguez Farm, we offer products and services. Go the next, please. Our products in the Rodriguez Farm, we have right now fruits, we offer vegetables, eggs, and livestock. Next, please. And our fruits, we have our own orchard, which is of peaches, plums, apple, pears, and we do have some grapes as well. Next, please. And here it is, the vegetables that we grow here at the Rodriguez Farm. This is our specialty international crops, which is a Giló. And our projection for this year already, we starting, is a machixe, and we do have every year zucchini and tomato. I'm going to let my husband right now talk about a little bit Giló. He's gonna say how he plants and the taste, which is really interesting for those who doesn't know who Giló is.
Well, Giló is a very healthy vegetables. You can eat in multiple different way, and to grow is a lot of it needs a lot of attention care. Have to water constantly and watching grow, and after you plant it, watching the trees. If there's no bug comes in, pull it off, and that's it. And when it start giving, it don't stop until
What's the month?
and it goes from end of May through November. When this freeze, when that start getting the first frost, and then it freeze the tree, and it gotta go. But it goes until probably end of October. Yeah.
Yeah, and the taste.
And it tastes really good. It's a kind of bitter a little bit, but once you get used to it, you get the taste, you can eat all the time.
Yeah, and it's like a little eggplant.
Yeah, it's tastes like a eggplant, but it's green and small, and that's what brings the bitter taste on.
Yeah, and the Giló, it has a lot of fiber. Sorry, it has a lot of fiber on this product, and for those who doesn't know, it's a similar, as you can see here, we call the small, that's the eggplant. But as my husband said, it's really bitter. And because our community who comes here to the Rodriguez Farm, it's a lot of Brazilians and Latino. We have some Spanish people too, and they consume a lot of Giló from us. And to prepare Giló, my husband he was a chef, as he said, for 15 years. He's the one who cooked Giló for us. So he's gonna say a little bit about how you cook the Giló as well.
Well, it's pretty much like stir fried and sauteing with garlic and salt and garlic and little pepper and oil, and don't cook too much so you don't soft it too much. And when it's probably it takes like 4 to 6 minutes to get done,
Yeah.
and it tastes really good.
And as well, you can eat raw as well. We can make salad.
Yeah, you can use for salads, chop
Salad.
it off and put over the salad and oilment, and that's it.
Yes, and the mashishi, it's I don't have here. This is a projection for this year. Mashishi is from the
Zucchini. Oh, no,
no
sorry. Cucumber.
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 It's yeah, originally it's a very little as well, the same size as giló, but it has a lot of spiky around, and it's coming from it's originally same as a cucumber. And we do have a zucchini and tomatoes. Next, please. We do have eggs, and this we are very, very excited this year too, because we have a lot emu eggs, because we are so excited. We didn't have before, and this is a season for the emu to lay eggs. So this year we have a lot of emu eggs, and which is a correspond to 12 to 1,000. If you eat one emu eggs, it corresponds to 1,000 of chicken eggs. It's a really big, and we did before here last week. We did eat it. It's really interesting, and it tastes the same as well. Next, please. And I'm talking about our service now. We offer a petting zoo. We offer hayride. We offer trail walk and picnic areas, horseback ride and pony back ride. And we do have a picnic zoo parties too for little kids. That's what we offer. And here is some explaining how the petting zoo works. We work by appointments only, and the clients call, and we do open Saturday and Sunday, Saturday from 10 to 6, and Sunday from 2 to 7. And the kids come and they can touch the animals, and they give food to the animals. And next, please. And during the petting zoo too, we have, as I say, always schedule for everything. We have a time for the petting zoo. After they see all the animals we have, then we have the hayride, as you can see there. Please, next one. And the trail walk, we have a little trail walk that we have this schedule to take people back there and go near to the river, and it's really fun to walk during inside the woods. Next, please. And we have the picnic area. The picnic area, we have a playground. People can rest. We have a picnic table, and we offer as well. We have a barbecue area too for those who want to come in as a big group, and they can make your own food. We don't offer food here at the Rodriguez farm, but people can make their own foods. Next, please. And the pony back ride. We have this a time for the kids to ride the pony. Our Monica, that's her name. And next, please. And the horse, I'm sorry for the spell here. I miss the RNS. Horseback ride. And many people come to here, even though they don't know how to ride the horse. We're always near to our horses and help people ride the horse. We don't allow them to go by themselves. And next, please. Oops. It's okay. That happens. Is that the last one? Okay. And that's what we offer in the Rodriguez farm. And I said the time that we are operating, and we operating by schedule and appointments. And if you guys have any questions, please, you can feel free to ask us.
Thank you so much, Amina and Paulo.
Thank you.
we are going to save the questions for towards the end of the presentation. So if you do have questions, please put them together, and then we'll have some Q&A time that you are able to ask all our panelists questions. Next, we are
Thank
going
you.
to listen to Jorge, and he is the owner and operator of the Sibling Organic Crops.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Joe. Thanks for giving me the CMET to give me the opportunity to join you guys over here, and really appreciate for that. I would like to take the moments to tell about myself and how I come. My name is Jorge of a Sibling Organic Crops. It's a small location farm in Lakeville, Massachusetts. I would like to tell you a little bit about my background, where I came from. My people are called Hmong, and my parents, as well as our grandparents, were a farmer. And they were been farming on their entire life, and we live in the high mountain range of Southeast Asia during the Vietnam War, and also known as the Secret War in Southeast Asia. My family and many others left home and fled from Laos to Thailand in 1980, and we lived in the UN refugee camp until 1987, and we migrated from Thailand to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, settled a new life in this country. Yeah, I was finished high school in some technical college, working with manufacturer for more than 30 years. And today I still work as a manufacturer alongside farming. I became a small farmer because of my coworker told me that if I want to buy a fresh vegetable, I should go to the farmer markets to get it. So in July 2017, I went to a few farmer markets, like the one in Brockton Farmer Market, Dorchester Farmer Market, and Randolph Farmer Market. So I shop for fresh produce, and I found all kinds of diverse people in the community, and the farmer bring a lot of produce to the farmer markets, but we're missing some that I wanted, as some other people wanted. This community people are looking for the products that they get from their homeland. And I feel maybe I could make a difference to help the community and people in the community. In 2017, I started to look for a small piece of land to grow the crops. And my goal was aimed to grow as a niche vegetable and grow them organically. I thought it could grow and bring this vegetable to the farmer market. It may be good for community and help bring more customers into the farmer market as well. Eventually, I found a small 3-acre lot in land in Raynham, Massachusetts, and for farming. Originally, I thought it was going to be very easy to grow if I could bring back the old traditional culture, technical my parents used to use in the past. It is not working as the farming season is not long enough for some of these plants. So the behavior of these plants were different. Some look shorter time took shorter time and a little longer. This vegetable ain't grow in the best environment for growing, but they are essential produce to people in a community. So I had spent more time to learn it and understand the nature of these plants. After farming this plant for a few years, I have come understand the time and maintenance of these plants. I learned and experienced that being a farmer is not easy at all, especially farming and dealing with the fresh produce with must be healthy, have a good quality, and safe for the marketplace. I know that farming is difficult most of the time because the weather and the hours of manual labor in outdoors, facing with the elements, but I still love it. I enjoy and proud being a farmer at that I can grow and sell fresh produce to local and people in our community. I feel I have made my dream of providing produce for diverse community in a reality. This is what my story that I got it from myself. I know it's kind of hard to do it at first. And when I first started, and it wasn't easy at all. You had to looking for a lot of information and how to do it right, especially some of the plant that I grow it took you gotta have to find the right place to put it in and have to find some of the time frame that when and where you can plant it. So it is a very hard. It took me a little while to get an understanding. Yeah. And as you see in my presentation that I put them in, this is what I plant. So from my stuff, from my seeding is gonna be March, and then I seed and I start to grow, transplant them into, you see the other greenhouse, that'll be in the middle of May, about that big. And then in the last week of May, then I can transplant into the ground. And then this is about the middle of August, middle of July, so I can get this plant to be this big. So it took a long time to be able to grow this plant. So just because to the climate, because the climate over here is shorter and it's not warm like we used to live in Laos or in Thailand, that they have the climate is warm all the time. I learned that the reason they're growing slow because the ground is too cold and make them not growing that fast. So that's why it takes more time to be grown, but I love to do it. So.
Thank you so much, Joe. We definitely appreciate you bringing your cultural crops into the community. That's why we're saying diverse cultural crops are important to the whole Massachusetts in general. Please, if you have any questions for Joe, jot them down and then we'll have time towards the end to be asking. Next is Michael Dare, owner of Tiani Gardens. Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on this conference. My name is Michael Olajiridare. I'm the owner of Tiani Garden. My journey as a farmer started back in Nigeria. As a kid, I grew up in an agrarian environment where almost everybody have a backyard garden. We raise poultry, we have goats. So I would say it's an inborn thing. And I developed passion for farming, and I eventually became an agronomist. I have a degree in agriculture and soil science. I got married to an American in 2014, and for a while I was contemplating whether to relocate to the US or to stay back in Nigeria and maintain my job. But in 2016, I decided to move to America to stay with my family. I came in and I was opportune to work in some of the farms around, Mahoney Garden in Woburn, and another farm in Dighton. So I became interested in having my own farm. And in 2020, I established Tiani Garden. Initially, I'd wanted to start in 2019. I got somebody promised me a parcel of land, but we couldn't agree. So I had to wait till 2020. So I met this couple at one of the programs organized by SEMAP. On the table, we discussed, they asked for what I've come to do at the meeting, and I told them I'm just looking for land to farm. And they just told me that I could get a piece of land in their farm, and if I will not, if it will not be too small, which is just about 0.4 acre. So, and I agreed to all their terms, and that was how I started. So in 2020, I cultivated 0.4 acre of land in Rehoboth. It was tough in 2020 because that was the pandemic year and everything was down. I was selling all my produce, going to individual homes to deliver my produce. Then I had no retail store to supply to. I had no farmers market to attend. But things keep improving, as in by 2021, I was able to get a retail store to supply to. And I have some farmers market that I was also taking some of my products to. So next slide, Shannon. Yeah, I grow my vegetables. I only grow vegetables. That is all I do. I don't have any other crop or any other produce that I produce. So, and I make sure they are environmentally friendly. I use compost, no chemical fertilizer, no chemical pesticides. I make sure everything I use is organic. Although the farm is not certified, but I stick to my organic way of farming. Next slide. So I've made progress so far, 2020, fast forward to 2022. I got a piece of land from the MDAR, which I leased. The land is 3.4 acres in Lakeville. Yeah, we couldn't do much last year because of the weather condition. We had drought, so, and the place is not irrigated. We have no irrigation facilities. So I couldn't do much, but this year I plan to use the land and cultivate many of the crops that I grow. I also got a greenhouse facility in my backyard in Stoughton, because this has been a major issue in my production. Sometimes I don't start selling until end of July because I plant directly on the field in June, May. So I felt the need to have a greenhouse so that I can start nursery earlier. Like this year, I've already started planting some of the crops that I want to take to the field. So these are the progress that I've made in the last 4 years. Next slide. I grow only vegetables, and I have so many vegetables that I grow. And I listed them here. Those in good colors are the ones that I feel they are culturally grown. They are some of the vegetables that we grow in West Africa, Nigeria, to be precise. The amaranth, which I know people call kalalu, ugu. I will talk more about ugu later. The water leaf, which we call Talinum triangulae. I also grow okra. I have varieties that are uniquely grown back in Nigeria that I also grow here, but I've discovered they don't do well. It's only the Clemson variety that I grow now. The bitter leaf, the Chocoros, Olitoros, that one I later discovered is not only unique to Nigeria or West Africa, because Jaw too grows Chocoros, Olitoros. We call it jute malu. Some people call it lalu. The Asians, I think they call it lalu. I grow eggplants, different varieties, the varieties I get from Africa and the varieties that are available here. Pepper, tomato, kale, collard green, and lettuce. So I grow all these vegetables, but my major produce that I focus on are ugu, water leaf, and Chocoros olitoros, because I have this market, just like Henrietta was saying, that some of these vegetables are not readily available in fresh form here. So we have people buying the dry form. Some we even buy, they buy in frozen form. So I saw the need that people are craving for fresh vegetables, green vegetables. So it's one of the reasons why I decided to go into production. I never, before I came to the Boston, I never knew that I could have a 4-month window where the weather will be okay to grow some of the crops that we have in Africa. Well, when I saw that, okay, from June to October, it's possible for me to grow some of these vegetables. So it's kind of motivate me to start this farm business. So I want to talk more on some of the vegetables. Next slide. Yeah, this is ugu. The botanical name is Tephria occidentalis. It's a perennial plant, but because of the condition here, what I do is I grow some in the pot. When the winter comes, I cut it off. I keep the pot inside. By the time we have another summer, they regenerate and they start growing again. So I took this lower picture. This is in Nigeria, where they cultivate ugu during the dry season. They use the wetland to cultivate ugu during the dry season. It's a vine, and the leaf is the important part of the plant. The leaf is used to cook soups, different soups in Nigeria. The popular one is called edikaikong. It's a very popular soup in Nigeria. So next slide. This is ugu in the nursery. It's a recalcitrant. It has a recalcitrant seed. One has to manage the process to go through to get the seed to germinate is kind of tricky. I've got seeds, over 1,000 seeds that I planted that none, not even one, germinated. So you have to go through a process. There's a way to process the seeds so that they will germinate when you plant them. So the nursery is very, very important. It has to be done in a particular way so that you can have like at least 20–30% emergence of the seed. So next slide. This is the pod. One thing I did not say is that we call it fluted pumpkin in Nigeria. Fluted pumpkin, that's what we call it. It's different from the pumpkin that we have here, but this is how the pod looks. So inside the pod, you have the seed. This is the seed. So this is the seed that we will plant, and they will now germinate and become the plant, the leaves that we use in our soup. Ugu is unique. Like I said, getting planting is difficult, and it's also difficult to grow it to maturity, that one will have these pods here in New England because of the weather condition that we have. So one of my goals this year is to grow ugu to maturity to have a pod like this. I still don't know how I'm going to do it, but that is the plan I have for this year. So next slide. This is another plant that I call Chokoroto olitoros. In the local parlance, we call it ewedu in Nigeria. And I think Joe would see this. This is what he told me it is called lalu, and we go together. It's propagated by seed. It's popular among Nigerians. It's very rich in vitamins and potassium. So it's a popular vegetable, and it's doing well here. If you plant it within 2-3 weeks, you start harvesting. So it's not it's an annual. It's not a perennial. Next slide. This is amaranth. I think this is common to many people. When I came here, I saw it and I said, oh, this is a common vegetable in Nigeria. We grow it and we sell. And I met some Caribbeans who told me, oh, this is called kalalu. And I also said to them, this is my most important vegetable, because I said to a lot of people, not only West Africans, but also to people even in the US. Next slide. This is what we call water leaf. Water leaf is also an important vegetable in Nigeria, because the edikaiko soup that I mentioned the other time cannot be prepared without this particular vegetable. So it's an important part of the edikaiko soup, which is a popular soup in Nigeria. So I also grow this one. This one can be propagated by stem and also by seed. So, and I know I know like 3-4 farmers around here that grows this very well in the Western area. So, next slide. This is bitter leaf. Bitter leaf is it's a perennial too. Growing back in Africa, it's perennial. But here, if you plant in the pot, we can keep the pot inside, and we propagate by stem. We just cut the stem, put the stem in a pot, and it will start sprouting. So it's also one of the international crops that I'm growing. Next slide. Okay. So I just want to thank people who have helped me, because coming from Africa, getting to the system here, wanting to do farming, it's not easy with the climate and the weather conditions that we have. So I want to say thank you to SEMAP. They've been there for me all the time, and the Tranquil Lake Nursery, they are the one that gave me the land, 0.4 acre that I started with. And the African Alliance of Rhode Island also really helped me in marketing my product. And USDA, they provided me with loans to do to get some of the resources that I need to do my farm. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Michael. As we are talking, I'm realizing that the one thing that keeps jumping in my head is as small farmers or people are trying to see the viability of farming in Massachusetts, one hurdle that people run into is, number one, getting land. Land is scarce in Massachusetts, and as small farmers, people that are not well used to the community or people that are new to the community, if they have that passion for farming and they want to bring some of their cultural crops into the state. However, getting access to land is a bit of a problem for, the farmers that we support are world farmers. That's one of the biggest hurdle that they are seeing. And I can hear from Jerry and I heard from George that getting land when they first started was a problem. So I just encourage people that as you are listening on, and if you happen to, come up with a piece of land, or you have land that's laying that you feel like, oh, this could be turned into a vegetable production, reach out to small scale farmers. They're always looking. We are always trying to increase production so we can have enough crops for everybody. And one thing that I can say from hearing Michael talk is you had to come up with a niche market for yourself during the pandemic because you did not have any wholesalers that were willingly ready to accept your vegetables because, number one, they didn't know about it. So you had to reach to your communities or within your networks to let people know that, hey, I have these vegetables that you probably were not aware that they're in the state. And I can probably suppose it's the same for Jor and Paolo, because the pandemic really showed people that we need more growers in the state. We need more vegetables to be grown within us. And one thing that I want you all to kind of have some few minutes to talk about is, what are your favorite vegetables that you're growing? I know you touched a little bit on it, but why are these vegetables particularly important to yourself and your communities? And let's talk about the importance of these vegetables before we move on to the next question. Paolo, you want to start? Joe, sorry.
Yeah, I have the long bean. I take a long bean, which is the reason I plant, because this kind of vegetable is very. You have a lot of way of cooking and to eat it. And you can make a soup. You can make a papaya salad. I don't know, yeah, guy. Anybody have been to like some of the Asian party or whatever, like New Year or celebration? They make a lot of like papaya salad, and then they smash with the papaya and with the hot pepper. They mix all the ingredients into it, and they just put those long bean into it. Or you can eat those long bean along with salad, or you can cook and stir fry, or you can just eat raw like that. Dip with some of the sauce that we got from like a Wendy, or the hot sauce that we got from Amidano. You can just dip it and eat it, and a very, very easy, and it's a safe, and it's kind of crunchy, and everybody love it. I don't see like they had the fresh produce over here, and then I know they have some in some other wholesale store, like a retail store, but the one they got it, I don't know how long ago they got in there. It's not fresh, and when you got it, you eat it, and you just have to be happy that I got this kind of plant, but you don't have the real original take that you got, the crunchy, the real feeling of the taste that make you happy what you have eaten the vegetable like you used to eat before. So that's why that's the one kind of a veggie that I like to grow. I know it's a lot of hard to take care, but I think it's worth it to do it, because when you got it, and then it's really, really good product and people love it too. And all the family, all we love, we go there. You don't have to do it. Just grab it. You don't have anything. Then bring a hot sauce or even a salt. And then you have a pepper over there and just dip it and smash together with, and then you just eat it with fresh rice or sticky rice, and that's it. And very, very easy to cook. And you can eat with a variety of ways. So that's what I plan for. And that's a lot of people in the community love it. And but also, all the animal like it too. So deer also love it too, so much too. So I could keep my hands off from that too. So but it's a very good product. Very, um, mm, I think that if I can find another market that they can get it, and then they'll get for fresh, and there'll be a lot of people they're gonna buy it too. But because right now I don't have enough land, so I don't produce a lot of them, so I haven't bring it to the markets. But I know that if it show up in the market, then people are gonna love it, because I know the variety of people, all kind of people that come in from like Southeast Asian, they love it, and they see it, they know right away. So, yeah. And not just that, but the people in the community, whoever go and travel into Asian a lot, and they know to look for it too. And when they see that, they say, "Oh my God, I actually see this!" Wow, and they all make them all so exciting. So I think it's worth it to do it. And that's what I like to bring this product to the market. That's why I plant and grow. That's what I want to do it. So.
Thank you, Joe. Definitely food is, when you have that taste of home, you connect with people and you just don't know who's coming from, but that food is just one piece that's bringing everybody together. Paulo and Amina?
Hi. It's very interesting because I was thinking about that. Like our products, I feel like we bring our community together. I think when we sell Giló, for example, Giló, as I say, it has a lot of the nutrition is fibers, but the reason is we selling Giló here. I see that we're bringing our community together, and that makes people coming here because when they see Giló, they have a nostalgic, it's very, they thinking about the family in Brazil. That's what they, when they come here, they say, wow, they have a Giló, and some people just eat raw, and they feel like that connection when they see Giló, because this part in Brazil, not everywhere in Brazil they eat Giló, but this part in Brazil, especially Minas Gerais, Espírito Santo, they eat a lot of Giló, and there is a lot people, especially from that region in Brazil, that come to America. And I think the most common thing for us to say is that bring our community together. Do you want to say something?
Well, she already says a lot, so. But I just want to compliment here what she says. And when people see things that they used to grow back home, they bring them back to the nature, what they grew up in, to the countryside. And it make me feel proud of to have something that people like, and they can have and enjoy. And this project that's we just working into grow and increase the production. And I think it's we're on the right path.
Yes.
Michael?
You will.
Yeah, just like everybody has said, they bring this crop, like it brings the community together, and it's kind of make people feel that that thing that they are missing, back home. Growing up in Nigeria, I know my family and a lot of people, we always say, oh, you don't cook soup till second day. If you want to cook any soup, you go there, you cut and you eat fresh. You won't keep it till second day, because by the second day, they believe the value is already depreciated. So you want to have it fresh. And that's one of the things that I saw when I started growing some of these vegetables, that people are buying frozen ugu or frozen or dried bitter leaf. They all switched. They prefer something fresh. And it is that quality, the freshness, the quality of the product that I think it's really affecting the community to which we are selling our production. That freshness, you are able to get it green. It's something unique. I know when I cut my ugu, when I get to the farmer's market, it doesn't last 10 minutes because people are already clicking for it. So they just, yeah. So the taste of freshness, I would say. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. I know you have all discussed about the climate that we experience here in Massachusetts and how hard it is for some of these crops that we are growing to fully mature to be able to be harvested. However, how do you feel like, what would it mean if there were more regional farmers that started growing some of these vegetables that we are talking about? What would it mean to you? And what would it mean to have buyers that are coming specific for these crops? So it's a double question. Number one, what would it mean for regional farmers to grow the cultural crops that you're growing for your communities? And number two, what would it mean to have more customers that are regional, that know a lot about your crops? What would that look like for your business? We'll start with Paulo and Amina.
Well, I know there's certain region in Massachusetts that has more Brazilians, go by regions. I said, I think if someone start growing Giló in different parts, like we are in the South, if someone start growing Giló in different part, like North, I think there is product for everyone, because there's not only Brazilian in my area, there is more Brazilian, and I'm not just saying Brazilians or my community, Latinos. Anyone can eat it. Some people like to experiment new foods, and I think will make this product grow. And what is really important is when we have the people to buy. If you have a big companies, supermarketing or small marketing that wanna try this product, that's your second question probably. That's very good for us. Then we can produce more, and we can increase the production. That's my thought. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think it's more and more people get into the business and grow more products and go to the people's hand, and will be helpful to so bring more people together
to know the product,
and people get to know the products and taste the products and find the good place to get it. Like me, if I find a good good stuff, I'll always go back for more. That's what keep quality and a good production.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, I just like it was posed to us that for better or for worse, it's a two waiting. It's good if we have local farmers, growing some of this crop, because I believe it will widen the market and to get to more people. Yeah, but there must be a caution, because those of us growing some of these international crops we are low-income farmer, and the resources is not there. We wouldn't want to be thrown out of business. So that's just the caution that I want to mention. But I believe that if we also have resources, we are ready to compete with and other farmers, and the more the farmers are going across, the more the market, the more the awareness that people have about the crop. I know that Henrietta was the one that was talking about one of these Asian vegetables that came, that the Vietnamese brought to I think to the America, and later it became popular that everybody now buys it and cook it. So other farmers buying our product will coming to grow our produce, will help to widen the market for us, so that we can sell to larger community, not just the small community that we are selling our products to now. And having a buyer, it will be very, very good, because there are some crops that I grow that I've not been able to get buyers for. Even the local vegetables, they are kale, collard green. Sometimes I find it difficult to sell. Not until I started selling at the farmers market before I was able to sell some of those products. Some of those products, if we have buyers, we can partner with some other maybe bigger farmers who can buy from us. It will help us. It will help our business to grow. So that's the way I look at it. It will help. It will help if it is done in a proper way, not to send those of us low-income farmer out of the market. Thank you.
Your a question for you is, what does a partnership look like? If there are farmers out there, big farmers that are looking to partner with you, what will that partnership look like, and how can these farmers and customers support you?
Yeah, I think I personally tell you that I haven't seen at the regional farmers growing any of these particular crops, and I think if they want me to grow, then I would like to do it. If they want to do business, they want to buy from me, I'm more than welcome. But if they want to grow, and it's okay, because this is, like I said, this is a product, a new product. They can bring everybody to get together, and just not just for myself or anything, but just for the community, for the people. So I think it's great. If there are some buyer wanna get supply from me, I'm more than welcome to working with them. I have no problem. I'll more than happy to assist them, to help, and we cooperate to working together. I don't think I'll be anything that can be a problem or anything. But the thing that I want to do, I'm more sure the people got whatever we want in the community, got a chance to try with the new product. And I think that's the biggest thing that I want to do and to myself, and that's what I think about. Is that the question? Am I answering it right?
Yes, you did. We're a lot of the farmers that we work with that are small growers that are growing cultural crops happen to be very small scale farmers, and competition in the market, when you introduce something that's being brought to a community and that community embraces it, and there is a chance for market, and other farmers see the opportunity of this particular market. So if we have and I think this is what Michael was saying, that if we have regional farmers growing and competing with these small scale farmers, then unfortunately, the small scale farmers will end up being put out of market, and that's what we don't want. So I'm particularly myself, I'm speaking for myself, I become very protective of the cultural crops and the markets to which they go to. And I become very protective of the small scale farmers and try to find means of which we can work with communities, chefs, farmers market managers, wholesalers, just so we can see how can we introduce these crops that small scale farmers are growing, their cultural crops. We already know that there is a big buyer base for that particular from different cultural communities. So for me, I feel like the step that we are in at right now is how can we work with, let's say, farmers market managers? How can we work with wholesalers? How can we work with people that sell to institutions to see how we as small scale farmers, not necessarily able to produce pellets of a particular crop, but together as a collective, we are able to produce enough that can be pelletized from either a food hub or maybe buyers that are buying for institutions, and how we can utilize the resources, which are the small scale farmers that are growing cultural crops, in order to bring these crops to institutions. Because if we look at it, schools is really where you see the bigger diversified communities. And not necessarily are students getting what vegetables that are essential for them. Sometimes we're like, okay, we're just buying lettuce because they are easy to prepare. They are readily available. They are market price friendly. However, looking from a small scale farmers, our panel, for example, they're all small scale. They want to grow. They want to expand their markets. And I'm sure they're excited to be able to produce these crops as they can be introduced to mainstream market. So it's just having that bridge. And I just urge and encourage our listeners, if you're in any of these positions or in any of these spaces, you're talking about how we including our culture demographics into everything that we are doing, especially with food. How can we talk to small scale farmers? How can we get the crops to whatever quantity it is that is needed in order to make sure that we are supporting their businesses, in order to make sure that we are supporting getting diverse, culturally relevant foods to communities? That's really important in order to make sure that everybody on the panel and all the small scale farmers that are listening have viable markets that they can go into later on. I was talking about partnerships, and one thing that I remembered from an earlier discussion is when small scale farmers are looking for a partnership, they're not looking for a partnership for a season. They are looking for long-term partnership that they can have viable markets, that they can have guaranteed markets, that even if they were to change their crop plan, because they have somebody that's willing to purchase from them year in, year out, they can at least have a commitment, be like, okay, I have a small parcel of land, but I'm going to set half of my land to grow what my partner needs. And as long as that market is guaranteed every year, I'm sure that our farmers will be happy to grow in order to fulfill that need, because at the end of the day, that purchase is making sure that they're supported financially in order to move their crops, and they can then start looking for other parcels to continue growing and also to continue growing in their growth, but also financially to be viable. I just want to open this space for our panelists, for some closing remarks before we get into the questions, if anybody has questions. And we'll start with Joel.
Yeah, I think if we could have somebody, some organization like you have, or the CMA have, when we had, you guys can take us into some connections to some wholesale or some other people that can supply from us. That would be great. That's what we are, small farmer. I know we can't have a competition, but if we cannot close other people's door that you can't produce like what we have. You can't do like what we, because this is it's a open market. So this, we have to is no way for we have to stop or think about any negative way. We have to think about whatever the right for everybody. So, but I think it's some organization like you guys have, and then someone like the program that you guys have, you are really helpful. And I never joined I haven't joined the organization like this before, so this is my first year, and I think I still have enough experience. I still learning, and as I go and I think about, and thanks for you guys brought me into here and give me the opportunity to get involved to the program and hear and learn as how and the real market is gonna go for it, and how the organization outside can help us, a small farm. I think this is a very great. And if we could have someone like you guys to help us, and that would be great. And I really appreciate. And I think we small farmer, we might looking for a helper like that to help us to preserve, like you say, some of those um, essential veggie that we can grow and made for some certain diversity people in the community, and have the people in the community have a chance to try and to eat, to buy, and then this is a very grateful to everybody. And
Thank you, Joel. Paulo and Amina.
Thank you.
We really thankful as well too for CMAP, and thank you, Henrietta, for this opportunity to be here and present our work. We really thankful for that. And as I said before, and I'm gonna compliment what Michael and George said regards our crop. Yes, we are a small business, and we want, of course, we want to grow, and we have to be careful, of course. What if someone around us start growing the same thing as we grow, of course we have to. It's kind of uncomfortable. That's why I said we have to look for the demographic area and to see. I know in my area we have a lot Latinos, but not just here, other areas has as well. And we wanna grow as a small business, and this is like my point. And I think to for the bigger supermarket that want to purchase and do a business with us, one of the things came into my mind is if they purchase from a small business, it's great if they keep like a commitment, says, oh, I'm gonna keep being, you're gonna be my client, and then they don't buy from others and make like a commitment from us. Like if
Certain amount.
and then they don't probably have to buy from others, and then buy from one farmer, and then we keep providing and providing to the market or whatever, a small, it can be a small place or be a big place, but we have to have their commitment to us, and then we keep doing a business with the person, with that marketing area. Do you agree?
Well, I think it's when you start growing those type of crops and is getting to markets, it's good to have and get connected with a good place that can get the products from us. And if they, like my wife says, if they can get a committed to keep get a certain amount in a week or a month, then make us feel comfortable to produce and make sure that it's got to go out somewhere. And
did I answer your question, or is there other? I'm sorry. There's any other?
Don't be sorry. You definitely did. Michael, closing remark.
As a closing remark, I first want to thank CEMAP for organizing this conference and giving us opportunity to showcase some of the product that we brought from outside the country. It's really an opportunity for us. About partnering with other farmers, it's a good thing to happen. You know, I've been contacted by some people already that they want to pay upfront so that I produce and I sell to them. And I'm happy this kind of I'm having that kind of conversation with the group, because this is what we encourage we small scale farmers, you know, to increase our business, to expand our business. If you can have this kind of partnership, that even before you go to field, you're already signing an agreement with some organization that you have to produce this certain amount of vegetable or crop for them. It will encourage us to do more, and it will help our business. So we need the partnership, the network, and the resources. Like now, I'm still thinking of how to grow my ugu to maturity. If I don't have greenhouse to keep the pot after the summer season, it will be difficult for me. The small greenhouse that I have may not be able to contain everything that I want to keep for the future. So if I have a farmer that I can partner with, I will say, okay, come and use my greenhouse. Just keep your produce in one corner. Let them grow, and let's see if we can produce fruits, the pod, and every other thing. It will be a good thing. So I want to thank you, CEMAP. I want to thank you, Henrietta, for this discussion that we have had today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. It's been really insightful learning about what you're all producing. And I am personally really excited to get to learn more about your productions and see how we can be able to partner up in the future so we can make sure that, you know, your produce gets out to market. And one question that we had on the chat was, how can people get in contact with you? I think, Shannon, you're going to have a communication for everybody.
Yes, I will send an email after the conference by the end of this coming week that will have all the contact information for these speakers. They mentioned it as well, but they're all very open to selling to you know, other farmers, restaurants, school systems, you know, as long as they are able to grow product for you. They've all expressed interest in getting more of their products out there. So you'll definitely get all of that information. Are there any markets that you all are at this coming season that people can find you at? Farmers markets, small grocers, that kind of thing?
Yeah, they for sibling organic, they can find me at Dorchester at what we call Great Ashmont, and Dorchester, and the one in Waltham will be Waltham Farmer Market. Yeah, and if they could, maybe this year I'm gonna go to Brockton, go back over there, because last year I didn't go. I didn't went there because I don't have enough production to go in there, so I didn't go in there. But I know for this coming year, I mean, actually this year, I'm gonna be trying to get in there. So if anybody wanna to try my products, more than welcome, come in. And I would give them for free to try. That's why I would. So yeah, to try, and I always get them to try. So I never take any money for it. So just to try it. But just to tell me that if they're a new customer, they haven't tried this product, and I'll assist them, more than happy to tell them how to cook and then how to eat it. And like, especially like last year, I got one of the customer, they came in and then they bought some squash tendril. They didn't know. I didn't know that they knew how to cook. And they took the bundle, they bought 2 bundles from me, and then they went home. And next week I came in back and they say, hey, how come your product we take just like a hay? You know, I said, how do you cook? Oh, you may take like a hay. You know? Yeah, we put the water and we cook, taste just like a hay. I said, why? How do you cook? And he said, this is for my wife and I, we cook, we chop, and put it in with the soup. I said, no, that's not how you do it. Let me show you. Now I just showed them how to prep. You know, you gotta have a patience to do it. And then after that, I gave them 2 bundle back, and I said, this is how you're gonna prep, and this is kind of meat that you gotta go with this kind of veggie. You have to go like either like beef jerky, or go to turkey net, or those smoked turkey net, or smoked pork that they have in the market baskets or supermarket they have. And then you cook with that and make a soup very good. And then after I show them how to do it, I prep everything, show them everything, and I put on back, I hand it to them. And they when they cook and they come in, and then that couple, they bought it every week. And they got a 4 bundle, 5 bundle, some they got 6. So I think it's very good. It's worth it to do it, you know. And if anyone more than welcome, they want to try the veggie that they haven't tried before, I'm more than happy to just give them to try. It's no problem.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And I will make sure we get some more information in the follow-up email about where to find Tiani Gardens and where to find Red Farm products as well. I know they're both in some small retailers as area that you could check out. Yeah, I want to thank everyone so much. Unfortunately we're at the end of our time here, but I want to thank you all so much. Our panelists, Paolo, Amina, Michael, Jor, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Henrietta, thank you so much for guiding us in this conversation. I've loved this conversation. I think, you know, a lot of what draws many of us to agriculture is connection. And I think that's kind of partnership and connection is what this has been about. And I'm really excited to see kind of what that can look like for all our region's farmers and all the farmers who've joined us at the conference today. So thank you all so very much.
Thank you for having me. Definitely been insightful to talk to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henrietta, for give out all the advice, and thanks for Shannon's to let us have the opportunity to be here. And I know I work very exciting sometimes. You know.
Of course.
I couldn't explain more than this, but I'm really happy.
These guys are always at CMAP events, so come on down to some CMAP events, and you might meet some of them in person.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.